gosh. I hope nobody used this Monday night to watch the Chicago Bulls game. We got absolutely destroyed by the Dallas Mavericks. The final score was 127-92. Bulls just put on a absolutely embarrassing performance tonight. Really nothing else to say. I'm not going to talk about the game too much. See if I can pull up the box score real quick. So you could see here we got destroyed 127-92. Zoom in quickly. You will see that the clapping started very early. 44-16, right off the rip. We were just getting absolutely annihilated, destroyed. Just any word you could think of. Go to the thesaurus, look it up. That's what was happening to us. Off the rip, 44-16. I don't even know what to say. One thing to say, I guess, maybe the Bulls, maybe the players today got a little distracted. I know weather got really nice in Chicago today. For the first time in a week or two, finally got some really good sunlight. It was in the 60s. We damn near were going to get 60-pieced, so kind of makes sense. But real quick, you could see here, like I said, right off the rip, we were down 44-16. We tried to do a little bit of something in the second quarter, but third quarter, again, another blowout quarter. So, pretty much starters didn't really play the majority of the fourth quarter for either team. You could see here the minutes for everybody except for Luka, which I think they're trying to get him the triple doubles, which I understand. But 20 minutes for everybody. We got destroyed on the glass and interior, pretty much everything. Gafford with 20, Lively with 22. It's going to be, you're most likely not going to win when the two centers for the other team score a dub each, especially when neither of them are featured. They're both just kind of lob threats, and we got destroyed. 9 of 9 for Gafford, 11 of 12 for Lively. I wonder why. I wonder if it has to rhyme with Lucevic, or is it a Vucevic? A little goofy, yeah. But look at the Bull starters, man. Nobody even got to 20. Nobody on the whole team got to 20. Closest to 20 was Bidham, and he was out there just kind of like they're letting him do his thing, letting him shoot as much as he wants when everybody else was out. So I get it. But Vucevic, man, I don't know how many times I got to say it. We need to trade this man. I've been saying it for years since we probably got him. I was probably happy at first, but he's horrible, man. On defense, just getting killed out there. Not that Drummond's doing anything special, but man, bro, just letting Lively and Gafford play after play after play after play with Luka. Pick and roll, Luka either scores or it's a lob or it's a layup, and it's just driving me crazy. We're playing that like weak drop coverage. Vooch doesn't even try. There's a few times where he's right there. He doesn't even try to block them or anything. And it's annoying to watch. I think I heard them say on the broadcast, we're like the worst pick and roll team in the NBA or somewhere up there. And Dallas definitely one of the top pick and roll teams with Luka and Kyrie. Kyrie didn't even have to do much today. A little 14 points. And man, this really boring overall. It was exciting coming into the game. Where is that at? I think it was somewhere in here if we go back, but we got John Cena exposed. Sorry, John Cena. But going back, it was Luka Western Conference. Coming into tonight, Luka was the Western Conference player of the week last week. Went pretty much off last week, averaging 37 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. Today was actually his 7th triple-double in a row. So, Luka's been killing, definitely on a tear. And actually, DeMar DeRozan was also the Eastern Conference player of the week last week. So it was interesting that, we came out absolutely flat, got crushed right off the rip. We really stood no chance the whole game. I watched the game from the beginning to the end. It was brutal. I'm happy. Be happy if you didn't watch it. Like I said in the beginning, that was a tough to watch there, man. I can't find that picture, but whatever. Coming into it, DeMar DeRozan, Luka Doncic, both were coming off Eastern Conference and Western Conference Player of the Weeks, respectively. Luka's been going off, like I said, that's his 7th triple-double in a row. What's crazy when you do look at it, though, is that they're actually only, I think, 8th in the West right now with 37 and 28. The Bulls are still 9th in the West. We're locked in, game and a half ahead right now of Atlanta. The Bulls are only 31 and 34. So 3 games now under 500. Looks like we're just not going to be able to crack that above 500 mark. We're just kind of stuck there in no man's land. And they were talking about it. I looked it up right now. We're 13-28 against teams with the winning record. So we only have 13 wins when we play teams that have more wins than losses. And Dallas, surprisingly, not too far behind or not too far ahead of us. They're 16-23 against teams with a winning record. So obviously in the Western Conference, probably the more stacked with talent. They're probably playing a lot better teams. But it's interesting that, with the name power and the team that they do have, that they're still not really able to kind of put it together. I mean, the West is absolutely loaded, so not too surprising. But, Luka's probably my favorite player right now in the NBA. So, I mean, I'd like to see them do better. I'd like to see Kyrie do something, but it'll be really, coming down to the wire in the Western Conference to see exactly where everybody's going to end up. So some of the other scores tonight, you take a look here real quick. Let me refresh this. I think this is a little old. So, yeah, Nuggets beat the Raptors. Nuggets still doing their thing out there. Warriors beat the Spurs. Man, take a look at this. Highlight was crazy. Trace Jackson Davis posterized Wemby, put it right on his head. Suns versus Cavs. Suns won 117-111. Pistons beat the Hornets. Oh, Pistons, 11 wins now. Can't stop them. 114-97 against the Hornets. And then right now, obviously the Mavericks beat us already. Let's not talk about that. But right now, Celtics and Trailblazers on right now. I'm sure this is probably going to get a little bit out of hand. Celtics are unstoppable this season. And, just take a really quick look at the standings for the NBA by conference. Like I mentioned, Bulls are right now 9th in the East. Celtics still number 1. I don't see anybody catching them. You got a little bit of a clutter here with 2 and 3. 2 Central Division teams. So shout out to the Central, Milwaukee Bucks and Cleveland Cavaliers. New York's fallen off a little bit. Brunson got hurt. Randall's been out. Magic creeping up to number 5. Philly somehow hanging on right now still with no Joel Embiid. They've been doing good. Maxey, Harris, they inserted Kelly Oubre into the starting lineup. Indiana, Miami. So for us, for the Bulls, we're pretty locked in. We're going to be either 9th or 10th. I wouldn't even be surprised if we fuck around and fall out, which would be insane because I don't think these teams down here even want to make the play-in when we do. But we'll see. Bulls are going to probably end up against the Hawks, and we'll see what happens right here as it shifts up. But I'm not going to go too deep into the standings for the East. West, another story, man. This is absolute, pardon my French, a clusterfuck. Oklahoma City now moved up to number 1. Denver, it seems like nobody's been talking about them this season, but Denver's just super steady. Jokic looks unstoppable. Aaron Gordon, since going to Denver, is just like another planet. Just fits perfectly within that team. So Denver, I still think they're probably the favorites to come out. Then Minnesota, LA's up there. Then down here is where it kind of gets interesting. Pretty much, I mean, Lakers have been doing good. I'm not going to really count them, but we'll see. From Dallas to the Pelicans, it's only a 2.5 game difference. Right now, there's about 17, 18 games left for most of the team. So going to really see how this stuff shapes out. Everybody's kind of locked in. Doesn't seem like Houston will make a move to get up to number 10, but it's going to be an absolute all-star in-season tournament. Look at some of the name power. You got Steph, Clay, Draymond, LeBron, AD, Kyrie, Luka, De'Aaron Fox. It's going to be really close race down there in the West to see exactly what happens as some of these teams start to, really kind of make that push. I'm sure rotations are going to get smaller. So we'll see what happens. Bulls were probably stuck in the play-in game. So let's start cooking up. Let's get excited. Got to pretend at least like, there's something to look forward to. But in other news today, for those of you out there, obviously we've been doing basketball. We're in basketball season, but NFL free agency officially underway today. A lot of moves were made. I don't think NFL free agency officially started, but today was the day where people that have agents or players that have agents can start talking to other teams, can start doing their thing out there. So definitely big Chicago Bears moves. I'm praying for another good season. We haven't made the playoffs in a few years. Some of these moves look like they might be putting us on the cusp. Obviously, number one thing's going to probably be number one's going to be what do we do with the first overall pick? But so far, man, definitely big news today. I think maybe Bears fans were looking for other names out there. I don't think we were necessarily going to spend the money on a running back, but the Bears have agreed with Deandre Swift to a 3-year deal worth $24 million. So he was with the Eagles last year, left the Eagles. For those of you that don't remember, before that, he was in our division with the Detroit Lions. Swift, definitely a very solid pickup, whether we have Williams or Fields back there. I'm leaning towards Williams, but regardless, Swift, I think, somebody we can rely on in the pass game and the run game. With the Eagles, they started off hot. The whole team kind of fell apart towards the end of the season. But I think he was really good out there. We still got Roschon Johnson to back him up, so I'm excited to see that combo. I think Johnson's going to have a better year this year. Obviously, his second year in the league, a little bit more comfortable, and I'm hoping that our offensive coordinator, a little bit better than Lou Getsky, a little weak guy. Secondly, though, we agreed to terms with former Titans All-Pro safety Kevin Byard. He was with the Eagles as well last year. He's going to be replacing Eddie Jackson, who the Bears recently let go. So big pickup for us out there in the safety position. I know a lot of people were curious to see what we were going to do once they let Eddie Jackson go, but that's exciting. I think what makes sense for us is the defense, is the Bears are really young, a lot of very inexperienced in terms of winning, being on a lot of big games. So definitely a good player on our team to get added, and there's some veteran leadership. Then a third big move for us today is the Bears traded a 5th-round pick for Bills' former offensive lineman, Ryan Bates. So something big we've been harping on. And same thing, whatever quarterback we have, we need a line. We need it for the running game. We need it for the quarterback, passing game, everything. Fields these last couple of years has taken a beating. So if he's with us, obviously we don't want that. And then if you got Caleb Williams coming in, definitely don't want that. We don't need another quarterback getting hurt or getting beat up without, any actual rational reason behind it. But, those are 3 exciting moves right now for the Bears. A lot of rumors going on out there on what they're going to do. A lot of people talking about receiver. We still got to see exactly, what's going to happen with Justin Fields. Justin Fields right now, still a member of the Chicago Bears. And, the market is really kind of dwindling out there right now. So as of right now, actually, let me go through some of these pickups because it'll kind of clear up the story on what's going on with Fields. So I would say right as of today, within this first day of kind of movement really starting to take place, these are probably the 10 biggest signings. I didn't include any re-signing with the same team or any trades or stuff like that. These are all going to just be straight up signing with new teams. So number 1, Russell Wilson to the Steelers. Obviously, kind of a big letdown these last couple of years with the Denver Broncos, but fresh start. Steelers don't have to pay like 99% of his contract. I think they're paying 1 point something million, and Denver's picking up the other 37 or 38 million. So biggest name out there, biggest storyline. I don't know if he's going to make the biggest impact, but definitely going to bring the biggest headlines. Going to a team that has some stability, but going to a division that's loaded with Joe Burrow on the Bengals, Lamar Jackson on the Ravens. So we'll see what happens with Russell Wilson, but definitely some makings there where, some things could happen. He's got some weapons, but we'll see. Second move, Kirk Cousins. Do you like that to the Falcons for 4 years, $180 million with $100 million guaranteed? Kirk Cousins, definitely not up there in terms of the best quarterbacks, but definitely up there in terms of the best bag getters. This man has made an absurd amount of guaranteed money. Shout out to him. Falcons do have a ton of offensive weapons, but we'll see what happens with Kirk. He's coming off that Achilles injury. We all know he's not really that great of a playoff player. So we'll see what he does. I think Falcons will be good. They'll be battling with the Buccaneers, but definitely a big pickup for them. We'll see if he can take some of those players like, Pitts, London, Bijan Robinson. We'll see what they could do together. Third, and kind of the big running back, somebody that the Bears, we were hoping we could get, but Saquon Barkley within the NFC East, going from New York, the New York Giants, to the Philadelphia Eagles for 3 years, $37.5 million, $26 million fully guaranteed. Definitely the biggest name so far that's dropped for star power that's moving teams. I think a lot of people were surprised. A lot of people definitely knew that he was going to be leaving, but within the division, there were some rumors out there, but man, definitely surprised. I was hoping I mean, I was hoping the Bears 100%, but, I think Texans would have been cool. A lot of those teams out there that want somebody, but, it makes sense. He wants to go somewhere where he knows he can win. He's kind of wasted a lot of his time and career with the Giants when he was healthy. He hasn't stayed healthy, so we'll see how that can go. But big pickup for the Eagles. Eagles offensive side of the ball. If Jalen Hurts can kind of get back to where he was a couple years ago, they're absolutely stacked. They got Saquon, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. Still got Dallas Goedert. So, I mean, they're loaded. It's going to be a big pickup, and we'll see what the Dallas Cowboys are going to do, man. We'll see Jerry. What are you going to do, buddy? Fourth pickup, I'm probably a little bit biased, but we're going to do the Deandre Swift to the Chicago Bears. 3 years, $24.5 million. Bring some versatility. Bring somebody somebody quick, proven out there. We've had Khalil Herbert, kind of small, injured. Deontay Foreman did solid for us last year. Obviously a little bit older running back, somebody we're probably not going to rely on for the whole year, but shout out to the Bears, Deandre Swift. We love you. Another running back on the move within our division and to the rivals, Josh Jacobs to the Packers. Meh. A lot of people talk about him coming here. I want to say I don't like it. He's not going to do great, but it seems like anytime the Packers do something, they make a good choice. So we'll see how that goes. And related to that, Aaron Jones is actually out. So I know a lot of people right away were like, what, Josh Jacobs to the Packers? But Aaron Jones is out. Who knows where he's going to go? He was pretty injured last year, but definitely very valuable type of piece. So we'll see where he ends up going. Number 6 on the defensive side, Christian Wilkins going to the Raiders, teaming up with Max Crosby, leaving Miami. He's getting 4 years, $110 million deal. Looks like the Raiders are just going all in on the defensive side of the ball. They got Antonio Pierce now as their coach. I mean, with having Patrick Mahomes within your division makes sense. You're most likely, I mean, they don't have a quarterback, so you're not going to outscore the Chiefs. So, their best chance, and following what Antonio Pierce did when he was a part of the New York Giants, is defense. They beat Tom Brady twice in the Super Bowl. I don't know if he was on both teams, but that's kind of the formula. If you can knock down the quarterback, get in his way. So looks like the Raiders are going in all defense. That's exciting, kind of lean into that real Raiders mantra. Another running back on the move, coming in at number 7 today in the NFL's moves, Tony Pollard to the Titans. 3 years, $24 million. I think last year, kind of given his chance and given his shot in Dallas to be that lead back, a little bit underwhelming. Definitely really good fantasy stats, all of that. But, in terms of just being a lead back, running the ball, controlling the game, probably not what Dallas expected or probably was hoping for after they let go of Ezekiel Elliott. But Tony Pollard to the Titans, who knows if he'll make any moves, but he's talented. He's up there, but big name on the move. And another move today, another AFC South team here, Gabe Davis leaving Buffalo, going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. 3 years, $39 million. Probably coming in, I would say, if Christian Kirk's healthy, Gabe Davis probably the number 2 receiver. Calvin Ridley is a free agent, so who knows if he does go back to Jacksonville, then that's a pretty solid 3. You had Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk, Gabe Davis. If not, Gabe Davis, Christian Kirk, still a solid combo, but he's heading to the Jaguars. They also, on a side note, did trade for Mac Jones. So a little bit of drama. Trevor, Mac Jones, same quarterback room, but we'll say that for later. Big move. This probably should have been higher, but I already put a Packers move in the top 5. So Xavier McKinney to the Packers, 4 years, $68 million. Big pickup on the defensive side of the ball. Definitely going to give them another piece. Scary for us again for the Chicago Bears. He's only 24, so 4 years, $68 million, man. Adds instant stability back there. So it's going to be tough again. I mean, Bears, maybe that's somebody younger we could have gone after, but looks like we're kind of on, not surprisingly, this save money Chicago Bears tour. Always going after him, but, Xavier McKinney to the Packers, 4 years, $68 million. And coming in at 10, Austin Eckler to the Commanders, 2 years, $11.43 million. Probably one of the older available quarterbacks or free quarterbacks, running backs, my mistake. Available running backs. So not surprised he didn't get too much love out there. He was injured a few times last year, even the couple years before that. And everybody knows in the NFL, running backs, wear and tear, not always getting the most love. So Austin Eckler to the Commanders, who knows what they're going to do? They still have the number 2 pick. They're going to have a rookie quarterback. So it probably makes sense, to have somebody like Austin Eckler come in and be able to, guide them, be somebody reliable that can catch the ball, block, run the ball, a little bit of everything. So exciting day today for the NFL. Not exciting at all for the NBA. Bulls got absolutely mollywopped, got swept across the floor. Let's try to forget about that game. They're going to be bouncing back. Let's take a look. When's their next game this week? Because, we don't even want to forget this one today. I mean, we don't want to remember this one. I don't even want to think about it. That's how hard I can't remember my words. But we're going to be playing 2 days, Wednesday at the Pacers, and then Thursday is going to actually be back home versus the Clippers. Maybe I'll see if I could go check out that Clippers game. But thanks for checking out another entertainment video. Bulls, let's pull it together. Chicago Bears, let's keep doing our thing. Let's go do something. Let us know. Is it going to be Williams? Where's Fields going? I have no idea, but we'll find out.